Hey my Shuga Bears, welcome back to my channel, Bougie AF. It's your host, OGJackeeNicole. It's where I say stay bougie on them. It's me feeding you feminism for the soul. It's my soul food offering. It's where I apply pressure to issues by being critical and logical. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the commentary where I can guarantee you I will be doing too much because that's just me. And like Sheree said, who's gonna check me, boo? Welcome back, y'all. You are tuned in to the Bougie AF channel. This is your girl, OGJackeeNicole, where I say stay bougie on them, and I'm serving you feminism from the soul. You can check me out on them people's Instagram at BougieAF_ish. Also on Twitter at I'm_bougie_AF. So let's get into it. So there's quite a few topics out here that I did want to talk about, but before I go into that, I wanted to, y'all know I did my last video and I was talking about the kids and I was talking about the schools and stuff like that in terms of everything that's going on in the news. And just talking about, recently Missouri wanting to bring back corporal punishment for these badass kids. So I was recently in a room and I felt like somebody really wanted me to hear, because they just like randomly brought up kids and how like if you don't have kids, I don't want to hear what you have to say about, taking care of kids. And I wanted to be extremely clear to the public out there. I have no advice for you in terms of you and your kids. And I never want you to think that I'm trying to tell you anything in terms of what to do with your kids. And as much as I'm going to sound like an asshole, this is the reason why I said I would lay one of your fucking 16, 15-year-old kids, because you didn't want nobody to tell you nothing, out on the street if you were attacking my fucking mother or grandmother that was coming in and out of her building. This is why, right? You guys want to take this disposition that nobody can tell you anything because you are the parent, and that's fine. I'm here for it because I don't want to tell you anything either about your motherfucking badass motherfucking kids. I really don't, right? I'm just telling you about how society is going to react to you not doing your fucking job. But do not take this as me telling you what to do with your badass motherfucking kids, because I don't have the solution for you and your badass fucking kids out in this society, all right? I just fucking don't. I don't even want to even sit back and act like I do. I just don't. I don't think it's my responsibility. I don't think the government should be telling you what to do with your kids and any of that. I told you that time with this boy, he killed his mother and he killed his father, he killed his sister, I think he killed somebody else, another brother. Like, he killed his whole entire damn family. I think only 2 people survived to tell the fact that the mother was aware that the son had been telling them how he could hear voices, and these voices were urging him to kill people, and the mother did not want him to tell the psychiatrist so he would not be locked up. I tell you to say all of that. I'm not telling you what to do with your fucking kids. Like, I'm just not. I'm never telling you what to do with your kids. I can, you want an observation of like, I don't think you need to start working on that. No, I don't even want to do that. I'm not doing that at all either. I'm not doing that at all. But I'm telling you that story because I remember in the comments where someone had wrote, I think she was responding to my comment and she was basically saying, you have to be more understanding and you really just have to understand that this really is the government's fault. Like, basically she gave, and it was a white family. I'm used to hearing it's the government's fault for like black people, but to hear a black person give a white person that type of like pass or try to blame it on the government, I thought that was so fucking weird. But no, I say all to say, I don't even want the government telling you what to do with your kids, because who wants to live in a society or live in a world or live in a country where your government is telling you how to run your homes? And I'm not for that at all either. So I say all of this to say nobody wants to tell you what to do with your kids. These are just like, if you can pick up the jewels that are being dropped of like how people feel in real fucking life about y'all badass kids and responding to y'all fucking badass kids in real fucking life. This is it. This is all that is. In general, like even with relationships and stuff like that, I'm never telling anybody what to do. I've never wanted to be that Dear Abby type of bitch. Like, I'm just not. I'm just not. But talking about badass kids, there's no way that we can get around the fact that T.I, and y'all know I talked about T.I.'s son, that he's in the news again. And this is it's so crazy because, like I said, there was something, what was he in the news for? It was something, I don't know if he was in the news or maybe I just mentioned the fact on one of my last lives that, like, this should be studied. Like, we like to say that, when these kids come out a certain way and they're acting bad and they in the streets, and they seem like they're about that action, that it has to do with poverty. And it's like, this kid don't know nothing about poverty, nothing about poverty. So what is his behavior attributed to, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm interested, because I need to know, how did this happen? What are you chasing after, sir? You look all types of confused. Like, there's no reason why you're not out here like a Carlton Banks 2.0. Like, there's just no fucking reason. Like, you've had more than anybody, a lot of people in life is going to have, right? So let me bring you to this story, y'all. We gotta get into it. Look at his mugshot. I think there's a different story. So let me see. Something that can give you a little bit more backstory on what happened. That's what we're looking for. And it was so funny, because when it came to King's arrest, it was like he was the one to let you know he got arrested, and he was sort of seemed like as if though he was like kind of proud to kind of announce that, in terms of like, oh, like, or make it seem like he got the jakes on him, fuck 12. It's like, nigga, why are you saying fuck 12? Like, them should be your friends. Like, like, I'm confused on why are you mad at 12? Like, it's just crazy. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. It's like, sir, why are you mad? Like, you grew up in gated communities, and stuff like that. But I'll say one thing, when it, looking at T.I and Tiny, and the fact that, presence and being there to raise your children really, really, really do matter. It really does matter, like, in how they turn out. Like, these kids can't just be at home with no real guidance, somebody to watch them, somebody to instill something in them. And we know Tiny and T.I have been out in these streets in terms of, for their careers. I'm not going to say like hang in the streets and stuff like that. But they've been out here for their careers and stuff like that. So a lot of times that do take you from being in the home with your kids, and they've had a lot of kids. So, it's not like they could, travel with them and things like that. I'm sorry, y'all. Just bear with me. Bear with me. A whole bunch of mess to get to. Let me see. Where did it start? Well, it's not a badass kid, yo. And then his daddy came out and was like, okay, here we go. Oops. King Harris reveals he was arrested for unknown charges. Okay.
And then that one. Right. Then you got 4.
I got, it was like goddamn.
I got 1 for not wearing a seatbelt. And then that one.
Right.
Then you got 4.
I got,
And you can tell he wants to be gangsta, because like he's literally talking like his dad, in terms of, man, a little minor setback for a major comeback, fuck him. Like, he's like, and his father ends up coming out and say, like, my son is behaving just like me. Oh, wow. King reveals he was arrested. It was like nobody knew until he told us. Like, he really wanted us to let us know. So let's see what my co-host in the comments say. Like, we really don't even know, but he says, I'm back, fuck 12, wild beast, P. Like, it's just crazy. He looks so crazy to me. He looks so crazy to everybody, but let's see what the comment says. He want to show us he about that life, for real. 1,049 likes. Lord have mercy. I hate when these silver spoon kids want to be bad so bad. Like, your father worked so hard. 670. Like, your father, your mother. Like, this is crazy. He wanted this bad, so congrats. Like, clown. He couldn't wait to post. He want to be hard so bad. We don't believe you. You too damn light skinned. I'm gonna be completely honest. You too fucking light skinned. We don't believe you. So for the traffic violation, basically that's what it seems like. This is a traffic violation, and he trying to make it seem like he's tied up into some hardcore shit. This is crazy. They need to get him together. Did he start wilding, acting like Orlando? Boy, if they don't go to Harvard and stop all this hood affair, your parents made it, so you didn't have to do all this. Facts. He finally living the gangster lifestyle he been wanting so bad. Now, how you going to arrest the king of Atlanta? They will be dealt with, period. I'm pretty sure that person's being funny. This person said, Rashad, talking about T.I, need to have the same energy he had with Nunu when he found out she ain't really hood like that. Come get your boy, man. He want to be hood nigga so bad. he always gave me bad boy energy when he was young. He did. No, he didn't. Oh, that's why they're laughing. Living through that boy right there. Living through that boy right there. It's cringy when he's trying to be like his dad. Like, bro, that boy version of Nunu. Cut it out. The lightest ones got to act the toughest. Ain't that the truth? He thinks he extra hard now. He his daddy's son. Probably was running his mouth. All right, so that's what the people had to say about it, right? So, like I said, if you don't want people like to tell you about your kid, you need to raise your kid. So here we go. Here's his mugshot. I guess they wanted to, not the mugshot, child. Malibu's most wanted. I hope T.I and Tiny really sit him down. He is a bit much and living it very recklessly. I'd hate to see him wind up hurt or worse trying to do something he's not. T.I worked too hard for him to behave this way. He went to jail for 3.5 seconds, about to make a whole album about it. He probably feels so accomplished now. Facts. Like, I think everybody's like, I think me and my co-hosts on these comments on this Instagram scroll, it's most definitely I think we're in agreement that this nigga really wanted this, and it just is what it is. But I wanted you guys to hear what Tip has to say about it. And it is so interesting because there's been incidents in terms of Zonique. She got caught with a gun going through the airport. I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, because if you live down there, then you understand the climate. You understand how unsafe it is. She has to move around alone sometimes. So most definitely her having a gun makes sense to me, right? So nothing really there, but that made the news, and she had a mugshot and stuff like that, which was so interesting because I remember she wanted to do this whole thing where she put her mugshot on her t-shirt or something like that, and T.I told her that wasn't a good look, and you don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, he was like really giving her really good advice, and it just seems consistently, and this is what I think the reason why Deja feels some sort of way. This is all my opinion. You see him try to raise these girls in a certain way, and he's talking about morality, virtuous type of stuff, and how to behave. And then you see these boys, and even his Damani, I think that's the oldest one's name, and don't quote me, the oldest son's name, they got in trouble right around the time they turned like 18, 19 years old and stuff like that. But you see he has a different approach to raising his sons, which seems to be have been very hands off, very much like let a boy be a boy, as if though it was instilled in their household that, it's just going to be different for the girls versus the boys. And that we know that doesn't work, and that's not a way like modern parenting should be. You should be just as hard on your boys and girls in terms of instilling the same values across the board and teaching the same type of things, right? In terms of like girls will usually learn how to cook and clean and that old cliche stuff. Boys also need to learn how to cook and clean and, wash their clothes and different things like that. Those are things that should be taught across the board. So no gender roles in that per se, like no gender roles. And I think you learn that very early because you learn it from your parents in terms of gender roles and the expectations of like how a woman should behave and how a boy should behave and stuff like that. But we all know that T.I is a chauvinist pig. We know he's sexist. We know he's all of these things. Like, he's not with a woman that is per se any type of like feminist or anything like that, or even like a woman who just really would that stands her ground too hard. Like, we see the disrespect that he'll say to her with ease, with no problems, of feeling as if though like this can go, can fly. I remember on the reality TV show where he sat at that dinner table in that restaurant and told his wife that he thinks that being married and having a family is holding him back. Now let me tell you the type of woman I am, and that's for any man to know. They should know this. I'm very much in tune with myself. It wouldn't have went that way. That scene and that show that day in that restaurant, it wouldn't have went that way. I'm just going to be completely honest. Ain't nobody got to, anybody put no hands on nobody, nothing like that. I'm just telling you, I wouldn't have took that so calmly. I would have took that so calmly, because if you know anything, Tiny actually has put her career to the side in the beginning for her man, because he made her. And for you to sit up there and tell that woman that family is holding him back, oh, baby. Baby, I might not want to hit you, but I might have broke something in that motherfucking restaurant. I would have been on. It would have been on. We would have been arguing. We would have been arguing like I probably would have blacked out and not seen nobody around me, and we would have just got to arguing. That's just that. The nerve. The nerve. You jailbird ass nigga that I saved from the hood. The fucking nerve. It would have been on. I'm just telling y'all right now. I promise you, he that short ass nigga, he would have been a real dwarf after I finished with him. He would have been cut down. There would have been no reconciliation. There would have been no comeback after that. And that's just me, though. That's the type of woman I am. So Tiny ain't that. So he gets away with saying a whole lot of dog and doing a whole lot of dog ass shit. Sleeping with his assistants. Y'all know about Bernie's Burgos. Like, y'all know that whole situation. Or even getting niggas to march down there in them people's Atlanta for his side chick. We caught that too, my nigga. Like, just really disrespectful ass nigga. Because a lot of time it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. And it's sort of like, after you put everything in context over the years, it's like, why were you cheating and you got a wife and y'all down in the basement and y'all hog tying bitches and putting pills and shit down their mouths, allegedly. You know, all this shit is allegedly. Y'all know I ain't afraid to say allegedly. Putting pills down their mouths and doing all types of freaky shit. You fucking cadavers, basically. Women passed out and shit. Like, why were you still cheating and she giving you everything? Nah, ladies. And this is why I tell people all the time, like, when it comes to cheating and what men like and all the other stuff, the baddest bitches get cheated on. It just is what it is. Like, we know this. Like, the baddest bitches get cheated on. The baddest bitches get dogged out. Like, there's no, they get speared from heartache or any of that. We see what Neil's wife went through, even though I don't think she's, like, the baddest. I think she's very average looking and very manly in the face. But that's just me. But we see this happening. I mean, you wouldn't be completely, like, all the women that who stayed with their man after they cheated. A lot of people think they're some of the baddest. Beyonce stayed with her husband. He cheated on her. She's one of the baddest women on the planet. You get what I'm saying? Like, it just happens to the best. You know, seeing what Kim Kardashian went through with Kanye West. Not to say that he cheated, because I don't think he cheated, but I'm talking about how she was treated. That's what I'm talking about. And continues to be treated, right? Because of that nigga. You know, and like I said, she's not perfect, and there's some things to be talked about. I just don't think he should be doing the talking about her, because that was his wife, and he chose to marry her with knowing who she was and how she moved in terms of, like, celebrity and all this other stuff. But let's see what T.I had to say about his son. I'll be completely honest. I was really surprised to see how early T.I is, like, throwing in the towel in terms of, like, parenting this young boy. Granted, he's 18 years old now, but T.I was a wild boy late into his 20s. I mean, even into his 30s, he was a wild boy. So he has to understand, like, as much as you talk about life, it's gonna have to, and all this other stuff. His debit cards is gonna have to not work, right? He's going to have to be out here on his own money, right? Like, you can't open up doors for somebody who's not behaving and doing what they're supposed to. So there are things that you can do to let him know that, like, you're not pleased with his behavior, and you just got to make sure you're being consistent on that, right? Paying rent or get your own, right? Because let me tell you, if them bills start adding up, I'm pretty sure he got some money saved. Pretty sure he's made money off of different things in terms of, like, being on that reality TV show and stuff like that. But yeah, let him use that. Let him understand how that feels when that account start getting low after 3 or 4 or 6 months, and he starts to realize, where's the replenish from? Yeah, ain't no fucking replenish over here, nigga. You grown, right? So there's things that you can do, but like, T.I's already given up. But let him speak about it.
Top of the top. Got a minor request. Hope everybody having a phenomenal morning. Got a small request, man. Stop hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas, his ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep that shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had that conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn out. You can.
Can I take a selfie with you?
No, go ahead.
Please.
I'm in the middle of something. But go ahead. This is more important. Go ahead. Come on.
Thank you.
All right, take it easy. Yeah. So I done already had that conversation with her, man. King's a good kid, chasing after the wrong shit. And, you know, I trust in God to deal with it the way that he see fit. You know what I mean? It ain't really shit else out. You know, he done got all the whoopings, he done got the punishment, he done did that. He done, you know, did everything as a child you could do to him. So now, you're gonna have to go through it. You're gonna have to go through it and get through it. And ain't nothing me and mama or nobody else gonna be able to say about it, man. But I'ma love him all the way through whatever it is he going through. You know what I mean? And shit, man, he gonna learn his lessons. Life gonna, you know what I mean? Life is gonna teach him all the lessons that he need to know. And that's the most that we can do. That's the best we can ask for. You know what I mean? I know who he is at his core. You know what I'm saying? This shit that he trying to, you know, he trying to convince himself of things, as we all do as young men and even young women growing up, try to convince ourselves that we are certain things. And in that journey, we find out exactly who the fuck we really is. You know what I'm saying? And it happens when we least expect it, and our lessons come from where we didn't know they were coming from. And it just ain't shit else to do. Ain't shit else to do, man. Time is gonna be his teacher. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I hope everybody have a peaceful, appreciate that, bro, a peaceful and productive day. Alright? And I'll catch up with y'all on the flip side. Oh, Memphis, I'll be at you this evening.
All right, so that's T.I speaking on his son King Harris being arrested, and basically, I mean, I can't disagree with anything that T.I said in this video, but like I said, there's just been quite a few bit of incidences. There was the Zonique, there's Deja, in terms of like, there's a lot of things that comes out in terms of her being like really depressed and talks about being suicidal and things of that, allegedly from like a very young age, that has a lot of people concerned. And like I said, the kids finding their way in a lot of like trouble that has to be kind of like street related, which is really weird, when they should be the farthest from the street. Like, we've seen a lot of online like live videos from King Harris in terms of like how he even interacts with people, that had people like even talk, like if you've seen the video of him at the Waffle House, it's sort of like you can watch that shit and be like, oh, you looking for what you gonna get, like you looking for what you gonna get, because of that, like T.I said, that energy. Like, that energy does not bring you nothing, no good. When you are short with people, when you are talking down to people, when you are pulling out your money, letting niggas know that you can buy their life, nigga will take your life because you talking to him and making them feel a certain way. So the fact that his son don't know those things is really crazy to me. But that's street life. Like, you gotta watch how you talk to people, and he most definitely doesn't have that. There was another video I seen where he seemed to be like at a after school let out. I'm not even sure if it was his school, but like he got into it with a dude and most definitely let that nigga know, you coming over, like I got something for you, and reaching for his bag. And you know, everybody know that universal sign when niggas start reaching for something. So, you know, doing shit like that, and you should never do nothing like that, because again, you don't even know what somebody has on them, and where you thinking you being cute and acting like you're going to do something, somebody going to take you up on that and really do that. Again, things that he don't know because he's not from the street, so he think he can be out here playing like that. So, listen, from one suburb kid to the next suburb kid, talking about King, you don't play with these people like that. Like, you just don't play. Like, I'm more or less, I've been in the hood, been around some hood-ass people, and I've never really kind of talked to them, right? Really, like, to be completely honest, like, no. And not to say because I'm better or anything like that. You know, as you get, you know, as an adult, you don't play with other adults. And I find it really strange when people think that you can. And because every hood has their, like, own politics and stuff like that, you really don't want to get involved in stuff that you don't know and stuff. So that's why I say you can go to any hood, just mind your business, you know, be a tourist. And just take everything in, and that's that. And I can honestly say, like, those who do hate me, like, in the hood from where I'm at, I ain't never talked to them motherfuckers. No, I used to hang out with somebody. I used to hang out with a hater, right? So, you know, shit happens, and even that I had to learn. I'm not better than anybody, but baby, when people are born into the fire, are born in such gutterness and hatefulness, and a way of being that is so prevalent in terms of like what we see in our hoods, in terms of like nigga mentality, a hater for no reason, that crab in the barrel ass shit. When niggas are born into that, and you're not born into that, and you don't even know what that's about because you don't even think on those lines in terms of like being mad because someone dresses better than you, or being mad because someone's living their life and you're unhappy with yours, and so you're just miserable, and so you're just judging that person, or you're taking them living their life as some type of like, one of the things I know for sure is that I remember this hater, she said to me, she was like, oh, you don't think you make people feel some sort of way when you come around and, you laughing. And I'm like, what? But that's not doing nothing to you, right? And so, for some reason, somehow, for some people, that is. You being happy is doing something to them, which was really weird because like you don't know, is it because you're close to me and you know what's going on in my life, so you feel as if though, I don't know, because I don't be in rooms with people and be looking at them and thinking, oh, you showing off because you happy, and you I don't know, like that's weird. Like it's even hard for me to talk about because it's such a low vibrational way to be looking at people. I know I've had this conversation with my brother before, and we were just talking about different, mentalities in the hood. And one thing I hear a lot of times people saying, oh, I don't want to be around nobody if they're not bringing something to my life and doing this and this and that. And I immediately think I don't want to be your friend because what I'm bringing is me. Point blank. What I'm bringing is me. Now, is there benefits or is there other things that, someone could be able to bring into your life? Yes. But if you're looking at me for what I can bring and do for you, I don't want to be in your life, because then that means it's circumstantial. That means that you are set up to think that you should be reaping some type of benefit, or somebody should be giving you something in this relationship. And that's not to say that if you are better off than somebody, that you don't look out sometimes and you don't whatever. But when you have people who have expectations that you should be giving back, or you should be giving the hood in terms because they feel like as if though you're made it, I promise you, stay away from those people, right? Because they think you have to, and that's tough. Especially when you ain't even from the hood. You think I have to do what? You mean outside of these turkey giveaways that I go and volunteer to, or the times I've been at rosy places and all, that's not good enough? No? You want me to just give because you want me to give you. Is that what this about? So you got to be real careful about being around people and they have the mindsets that you should be doing more because you have more, but nobody gets to dictate to you like what you do in terms of charity. And it's so sad because you'll realize as you get older, it's easier to do for complete strangers than it is to do for people you actually know, because the resentment that you can do for them sets in, right? And the fact of the matter is that for some people you don't do enough. This same girl, I remember, it was all within the first 4 or 6 months of hanging out, right? She was asking me to borrow some money to go on a trip. And I ain't never been in friendships with people where, we do the money thing, because everybody that I've usually hung out with usually have their own money. And like, it just never has been that type of sticky situation. Have I ever been balling in life? No. But I'm a single woman that's always been able to make enough to carry myself. And what a lot of times when you're hanging out with other people, and this person was a single woman also in terms of like not having kids and stuff like that. But when you're hanging out with certain people and they're living paycheck to paycheck, I have also learned that, some people really get offended by the fact that like my conversation may be about, ooh, I want a new outfit like every time I go out. Well, I don't have kids, so I can do something like that, right? But not realizing I'm not trying to rub anything in. But if I'm casually talking to you on the phone, are you meaning to tell me I can't share with you the things I got going on because you'll feel as if though I'm trying to make you feel some sort of way, or you'll feel as if though, like, who do I think I am? I remember one time I had a friend, and sure enough, bitch ain't my friend no more. She felt some sort of way because I went to go get my hair done and I spent $70 on my hair. And she was like, oh, you spend that on that? She felt like I was really too unrelatable. And it's like, oh, am I unrelatable to your broke ass? Right? Because, people I grew up, this is nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is nothing most women spend on their hair and nails. But if you are a mother of three and you budget your money and you kind of, watch how you spend and stuff like that, you most definitely, I can see you being annoyed with someone who doesn't have to. But again, that's still not me doing anything to you. And that's where I feel like it becomes dangerous, where someone is able to sit back and think that you're doing something to them, because you're living your best life the way that you want, right? No, not trying to rub it in. And I also, what I found, like, this person, she used to, from what I hear, she goes around talking about, I complained a lot. Like, I was complaining about things that go on in my life. And it's sort of like, again, because you've assessed my situation and think because I may make more money than you, or I may have less stress, or whatever you've assessed my situation to be, you think I don't have the right to vent about my frustrations about life, but you can vent about yours, right? You can talk about the things that you have going on, or the job that you hate, right? Because they fucking with you. But the minute I'm doing it, I'm venting too much. Like, I'm confused. So, like I said, you just have to really, and it seems so keen, you really have to pay attention about trying to chase this life or being around people you have no business being around. I can honestly say that when I look back, that I'm thinking I'm trying to do business with people in terms of, like, trying to build my podcast and do my show, and these group of people are trying to work towards the same thing. But then I had to realize when you come in with your plan, and like the way I looked at it, everybody had their own show and we were all on a network and we were trying to build up that network, which means, for me, I took it as like little private contractors, like in terms of, like, everybody do their thing, but we know what it is, throw up the sign, basically, in terms of, like, the name of the online radio, like, but be about promoting that, blah blah blah. But everybody individually come up with your own shit, do your own shit, blah blah blah. And of course, I'm coming out with my own shit, doing my own shit. Man, the hate came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, I'm at a station, everybody talking about their hot pockets and their hot dicks, that they, that was all the content everybody was doing, is talking about sex and relationships. That's all they wanted to talk about, like who was putting the dick in whose ear and shit like that, and how many holes. Like, it was a really raunchy, lowbrow type of conversation. So I came along and I tried to do a variety of different topics, but also infusing that I was interviewing, like, interviewing local artists and stuff like that. So I always had a lot of people coming through in terms of, like, interviewing, like, mayor candidates, interviewing people running for office, people writing books. Like, I was tapped into that. Man, the hate. I mean, the hate that started happening. All of a sudden, everybody started changing what they doing. Everybody now hated me. It looked at me like, who she thinks she is, and all this other weirdo shit. And this one, you're dealing with nigga mentality. Long story short, I mean, I'm sharing all this because I can, right? And it is my fucking YouTube. But this is the best way I can, like, kind of let you guys in on, like, some of the things that I've been through in life in terms of, like, sharing myself. Because it's never going to be, like, where I'm sitting and, like, y'all going to be in every room of my house and y'all going to know all my business, or my man going to be on camera and all. Like, y'all not getting that from me, okay? And I hope to still make it. Y'all can't get that from me, because one thing is clear. Like, these people will fuck up, letting the public in your relationships. We see what happened on reality TV. This shit was fuck up your relationship. Like, even when I sit back and think of some of the YouTube stars that, or well-known people, a lot of times you'll see, because they put so much out there and they let their husbands be seen. Next thing you know, niggas feel so comfortable, they start looking up and trying to find shit on your husband and shit. Anybody got fucking time for that? Like, I didn't research this nigga. Yeah, I don't need you to research him too. Like, what the fuck? But I think we overshare. Do I think that people are I think not I think people are doing it because people have the appetite to want to be all up in your business, and it does help you grow your platform if you are just messy and just really out there. But I think you have to fight that urge. I'm gonna go to work till it pops. But I'm never going to offer you, like, my soul and everything in terms of, like, my relationships with my personal family, with my family and stuff like that. I'll allude to a lot of stuff. I'll mention stuff in a roundabout way when it's actually, like my personal or something close to me. But, like, just offering, no, no. I will mention things in passing and I will leave it there. I don't want that type of station at all. And like I said, I've just seen people just really open up their lives and their children be affected by it, their spouses and their family be affected by it. So I don't think it never needs to be that deep for me. I'm gonna cross my fingers, you know what I mean? I hope for that. Yeah, I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope for that. But no, you're never gonna get like me, like walking through my home, all my family, and all that stuff. Like, no. And that's why it was so important what that DA said in terms of Fannie Willis, in terms of Marlo. Like, girl, you did too much. And I knew the exact, and I mentioned it in my video before, I knew the exact a news report that she was talking about in terms of letting them people in your house and walking around. And even on Real Housewives of Atlanta, like, girl, like, who you showing off for? At some point in time, you got to smack yourself. You acting like you ain't used to this shit by now. And you should be used to this. But if you built your name off of being over the top and glamorous, I guess I get it. But you got to understand, you got to pull back now. Marlo needs to move. You just literally have to move. You made yourself a mark. It just is what it is. All right. All right. So what do people have to say about T.I? Marlo Hampton praying. That's what's funny. She's saying these comments. So I agree with him. At a certain point, you have to let life teach them and just love them through it. And that's a fact. I agree. I'm for that, right? You do, as a parent, have to, just let life teach them and just be there and, try to walk them through. Long as you're not participating in the madness. Or when I say participating, you ever meet a parent that has a mindset of their young child, like of their child, you know what I mean? Still in that same type of time, still clubbing with their children, still ratchet, still, you know what I mean? Like even the girl that I allude to, in the club with her mom, on the phone gossiping with her mom, you know what I'm saying? Most definitely, apples falling not too far from trees. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, as long as you're not participating in that, as long as you're being like the person that is, being that voice of reasoning or being that strong voice that they need to hear, in terms of like, no, you do not behave like that, right? Because I know this person didn't have that, and I know that for sure because I was at a where was I at during pandemic. This is so funny because when people's families are so close, and I'm talking about like over 30 something, 40 something years at this point, there's another cousin that I was close to, and I went to her graduation, and it was online. And let me tell you, it was online. And so, you're on the Zoom, and I remember I came off of my Zoom for a second, and this person who I keep on alluding to, her mother was there, and one of the things that the mother had said, people mad because their man got taken or some shit. I said to myself, oh, you'll never be able to claim that this little bitch didn't know better if you sat there, and if you could sit there and say some retarded shit like that. Do you think this is about, somebody stealing or somebody's man? Nigga was never even my man. Like, it's crazy that somebody's daughter would even be out here feeling like they need to do all of this for a man, right? That's the crazy part. So I know that there's no real guidance there of, of this is not what you do. You should never have to behave like this for a man. But on top of that, for me, it's never been, because like I said, for this man, I've never been alone with him. I've never expressed to anybody my feelings about this man. If I was going to express my feelings, that's going to be between me and that man. I mean, I've never expressed being lonely, brokenhearted, or any of those things, dissed, or any of that behind this man. The problem between me and this man is that he lied, and he put me in a dangerous position with her in terms of people trying to fight me based on these lies. And me being treated a certain way because people think I've done some of the things that I have been accused of, and this person just not wanting to live in their truth, right? And so that's what it's about. There's a bigger picture to it. You fucked with my reality. You made me feel uncomfortable in spaces because of the lying and because of you just being a dishonest, deceitful person. But her mother should be able to tell her, like, I don't really think this is about a man, baby. You did quite a few things. You told quite a few lies, and that's not being said. And so I have a problem. And so, like I said, in terms of, being a good influence as a parent. That's extremely important. But I'm not telling you what to do with your kids. I promise you I'm not. I'm just not going to give a fuck if you ain't telling them the right things. And if I have to bear any type of burden of what you produce in terms of fruit. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here on this one because this one is already 40 minutes long. But listen, nobody telling you what to do over here with your kids. I'm not telling Tip. I'm not telling Tiny. Y'all did what you did, and it is what it is. Just like you said, love them through. But I most definitely, one more thing I do want to say in terms of the kids. So we have all these issues with Deja and the depression and stuff like that. Being a presence in your kids, being a father and being present is extremely important. I'm not going to say that I don't think Tiny and T.I were not present, but there's some type of breakdown, because I remember with Deja, I remember saying like, what's going on, that this baby has been suffering from this type of depression for so long. And I remember I did not like Tiny. She responded one day, I think she was on live, and Deja's name came up, and she seemed so annoyed and frustrated to have to be dealing with it. And so it's sort of like, man, we got bamboozled with this family hustle shit. We got bamboozled. They came out like the Cosbys, and as if though they was this loving big family, all in the California king size bed. We thought there was some hands-on parenting happening. Long story short, that should just be for TV. All right, y'all know how we do it here. We keep it bougie SF, we keep it posh SF, we keep it black SF, and y'all be black, y'all. And I'm out.